Are you all right?
We're live, baby.
Are we?
What you see versus what she sees.
They're all right.
This is the Arn and Eddie experience. You may notice that there is no Eddie; he's feeling unwell. But I have several guests with me here to discuss the madness that we've just witnessed today of France versus Switzerland and Spain versus Croatia in an absolute goal fest of a day at the Euros. So I'm Arnold Furious, supporting Switzerland. With me is Jan Sommers Barmiani.
Hey!
We've got Rian. He's sitting there. Mike is here.
Hello.
And also Lewis.
Hey.
Hey. So, gentlemen, we've just watched France. What have we just seen?
Collapse.
Others is just kind of summed everyone's thoughts.
Yeah, people bloody hell love it. Yeah. It's
Could say some nasty things about the French again, but I'd rather not to.
I
But
think-
like it's typically French. Like, you know, they lose and they probably will claim the victory anyway in some way, shape, or form.
I like Mbappe kind of limping off there, going, "Oh yeah, my hamstring
my
is no good.
hamstring,
That's why I
mate.
missed the penalty."
But Aaron, you originally got angry about, and I think it was just destined because we knew Mbappe was going to take a penalty. It seemed to be like written in the script, and we were all watching together. And I think as soon as he started walking, the first footstep he was missing. He was missing.
Yes,
straight away.
this one.
That's a massive
This
kiddies.
one.
Let's all laugh at them forever.
Mbappe's going to be doing Pizza Hut adverts in France.
No, we thought the game was over when Switzerland missed a penalty to go like 2-0 up. That's just football for it.
And then France scored 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I didn't I leave after like the third one because I thought, it's
It was
3-1
3-1,
now.
wasn't it? You went because
I went because
Pogba
I
had
thought-
scored that insane goal after like 75
Yeah.
minutes, and it's like, this game's over.
It was 3-1. I was like, game's over. And then I saw, Seferovic scored. Okay, have they got enough time to get a goal? And then I didn't realize how long the game went into extra time. And I saw, it's 3-3. This is why everyone's talking about it. And I was like, okay, well, France are probably still going to win in extra time. I think they'll probably attack through. And then I saw it got to penalties, and I rushed back to Discord, and I was like, "Guys, I just hear this penalties." And oh my god, that was a ride.
F in the
It
chat
almost
for everyone
didn't
who.
make it to. It almost didn't make it to penalties. I mean, Gavranovic scored that marginal offside goal on 84. Then he scored an actual goal.
Actually, for once.
Bang on 90 minutes. And then down the other end, Kingsley Coman hit the bar in the 94th minute. It's a
It
mad
could have been
game.
4-4 in the end, to be honest.
It was end-to-end stuff, as they say.
Imagine turning over to Love Island when it was 3-1. Jesus,
Oh,
really angry. Very angry.
You're turning over to the Love Island, and only in football it's getting banged in.
How does Moussa Sissoko go from Spurs bench into France's squad?
I did make the point that Moussa Sissoko was a very strange addition to the France squad, that he's in every single squad.
it's probably just to preference of how the manager plays. He just probably thinks Sissoko's a good fit for the position he needs him for.
To win midfield battles.
I mean, England did that for years with like calling up some players who just weren't good. And
How did the first half go? Because I couldn't catch the first half. The first half was
Switzerland. Switzerland. I watched the first half. Switzerland wasn't undeserved 1-0 up.
I think.
Hey Eddie, we love you.
I don't know how to do that with my hand.
We're all replacing Eddie here, by the way, today.
So, first half, basically ITV stopped working. So, literally, it's just come on in my. I can hear it through the wall there. The TV has actually just started working at 11 o'clock at night. It hasn't worked all night. All I got was like a scrambled picture. I couldn't see anything. The first half of the game, I saw 3 minutes. Alan, right? That's the TV. The TV isn't working. I tried ITV Hub, and that stopped 3 minutes and 23 seconds into the game with Rodriguez was about to take a corner. And it's like he's there, ready to take this corner for half an hour.
The only thing to say is that Love Island was also disrupted by the ITV Hub problems, so everybody missed out, basically.
It wouldn't freeze during Curry.
We ended up watching it on ZDF, didn't we?
It was serendipity. So I got to watch it on a German stream with my friends here, and it was a very good time.
I tell you what else was interrupted by a TV Hub. Wonder Woman was shown on ITV2. For whoever wants to watch, I'm sorry, but you can't watch on ITV Hub. It's not on demand, I don't think.
Crushing dreams.
Playing Longley in the back three is asking for trouble. I wasn't sold on the back three that France came out with. I think they were just asking for trouble the whole game.
Mbappe was very poor from what I saw. Just did absolutely nothing. It was kind of I don't know why. Maybe he doesn't. I don't watch a lot of the French games, but it just seems like
he's been quiet.
The expectations of maybe
he's been really good for France, but before the tournament there has been a little bit of a fall. Like basically France did what they always do, and that's having a fallout shortly before the tournament.
Yeah, the only person who didn't fall out was Benzema, and he went down and scored some. Benzema was like, I'll stay out of the trouble and score a few goals this time.
As soon as they named him in the squad, me and Eddie were like, well, he's going to fall out with someone, and that'll be them done. And,
no, it's like stupid, sexy Giroud and Ninja Turtle Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, but like I'd say Benz was walking off being like, I stayed very polite and nice and scored my goals. What the fuck? Everyone else is just doing the dirty work for me.
Yeah, he can just walk away happy now. If he wants to just say, I retired from international football, he can say, well, I scored the goals. It's you other losers that didn't stop it at the other end. That was the problem.
Yeah, but man, that was crazy. And the great penalties up until the Mbappe one. Really good penalties. But Pogba's one was just probably the most unsavable penalty I've ever seen.
Well, it's not only that. He scored a fantastic penalty. He scored a fantastic goal in the game. It was an incredible goal. Absolutely incredible goal.
The pass for the chance towards the end of the game, was it the Giroud chance? The kind of half volley through ball to Kingsley Coman was an insane pass as well. He played very well.
Yeah. I just
speechless.
But we have to question how much really has Group F really been the group of death, considering Portugal and France are now out in the round of 16.
And only Germany
is still in, and they're playing England tomorrow.
Well done, Mr.
So I think you could all be out. That's the end of the group of death.
Good, but it's not going to happen. Let's be real.
When does Mbappe become a French Bale and just bugger off to the golf courses?
Oh man, I don't.
He might be a little young for that.
He was already on the beach, wasn't he?
Mbappe doesn't strike me as a man of who likes the golf.
Yeah, I think he's more of a tennis type of guy.
So Rabiot is a makeshift left back,
not a golf posh.
I feel the French squad selection today was not ideal. And I think they kind of paid for it. I don't know. Were they just being cocky and thinking they could field whoever they wanted and just win anyway?
Did Griezmann play? Because he seemed pretty invisible when did he go off early, or was he just invisible?
No, he played quite a lot of the game. He had some really nice touches, Griezmann. He's a silky smooth player, but he didn't. He made a goal. He made a goal. The second Benzema goal was made by Griezmann. Yeah. Like I thought he played quite well, but just in bits and pieces. So he is a quality player. The problem for France is just complete disservice to a few players. Kante was fantastic the whole game.
I never saw. Yeah, but that's a good thing for a defensive player, if you know what I mean. And saying that, I never saw a game where I thought with Kante on the pitch where I thought Kante was rubbish today. To be fair to him, I really
he was great. He's always great though. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not playing for your team.
So when I was chatting with him, it said Switzerland were winning it based on Rabiot at left back. So,
well, to be fair, Domi was a big fan of Rabiot when we were in the stream. Do you want to
I said I'm a fan. I don't think he had a particularly good data, but I said I'm a fan of Rabiot as a player because he's a high work rate midfielder.
Yeah, the argument that we were having during the game is that you said he works hard, and I said he's stupid, and he didn't really have a comeback to that.
Mate, Rooney.
Well, Rooney's stupid too.
Yeah, and he works
saying
hard. So, like, yeah.
That's not the response I'm looking for.
I've never seen Rooney and Rabiot being compared.
It's like, I'm saying Rabiot is not an intelligent player, and
No,
you're
I'm not
saying, well,
saying
neither
that
is Wayne Rooney. I'm like, well, yeah, I agree with you.
I'm not saying he's intelligent, but he has high work rate, and I rate that in players because there are a lot of midfield players who don't necessarily have a very high work rate, and they just rely on talent or the ball getting to them. And like, for example, Mesut Ozil is one of these examples. I always felt like Ozil was only playing his best games when a team around him was having a good day anyway. So he never really made the difference in the team he played at. And that was always my number one critique point. I don't think that's the case with Rabiot. Rabiot doesn't need, in his position especially, he doesn't need a team to play good around him to himself have a good game, similar to Conte, for example.
I back Switzerland to beat Spain. Sorry, yeah.
I was going to say Switzerland won't win the tournament. This is a huge achievement for them, says Labara X. Agreed. I mean, this is possibly the best result they could have possibly got in this tournament. I mean, you find it very difficult to see them going on and winning it, though.
Except for the game against Italy, they generally looked the entire tournament pretty good. Even the draw against Wales, they almost drowned Wales.
They dominated us for like that whole game. They should have gone.
Well, like, except for 5 minutes in which Wales scored.
Yeah, but apart from that, like Switzerland have looked very, very good, especially like in the midfield area. They do look like a team that really can dominate games. And they showed against France. They're able to hold their own, and yeah, they were down 3-1. There was a lapse of 2 goals within like 2-3 minutes. But if they can like concentrate and not have that happen again against Spain, it's Spain they're up against next. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I backed them. Like I just don't. I watched the first half of the Spain match, and even though they won 5-3, I didn't really watch. But like, I just don't see much in Spain. And if you have like that kind of European Championship good feeling, I'd honestly back Switzerland to have a moment.
I would back Switzerland, especially if since they were able to get rid of France.
I think you could back them to go past Spain quite possibly, but then the problem is obviously you're playing either Belgium or Italy. Which I don't think you can be lucky. Well, not lucky. Lucky is not the right thing, but it would have to be a hell of a momentum bounce for them to get past them as well. That being said, if they do get past them, they've got a very weak opponent in the final.
Whoever
Germany, England, Denmark, Ukraine, Sweden. That's teams.
Does this performance here by Switzerland against France make Italy look even better? Because Italy absolutely walked all over Switzerland, made them look amateurish almost.
I don't think it just makes them look better. It also makes the Austrian team look better, even though they got eliminated. Because the Austrian team had a tremendous game against Italy.
Yeah, I see a lot of people. I've seen a lot of like discourse being like, "Oh yeah, there's the like kind of." Did anyone notice this kind of talking down of Italy after the performance against Austria? And it was like, "Oh, there's the kind of." They've been hyping them up. I think that was. I don't see that. I still think Italy are going to be in the final.
I think Italy had that typical performance you have when you want to win a tournament, where you have problems but you still get through. Because traditionally, teams who win tournaments have this one game where they really struggle in like. Especially against teams you don't expect them to struggle, and then they win the tournament. Like Germany had that in 2014 against Algeria of all.
Would you say Italy are the favourites?
Yeah, no, they were the favourites to me before the knockout round.
I mean, I thought France, because of the sheer depth that France had in their squad, they weren't playing that well. And I see you shaking your head. They weren't playing particularly well, but I just figured, like, you know, teams hit form late in tournaments. You look at Portugal in 2016 and how they didn't play particularly well in the groups. They just kind of scraped through, and they kind of scraped through the whole tournament, but they ended up winning it. I felt like France were going that way. They were just doing enough in each game, whereas Italy have been exemplary.
I think
sorry, Lewis, go ahead.
Oh no, go on.
I was just gonna say, do you put any weight in like playing big teams in the group stages in terms of like when you get to the later stages? Because you do like exert a lot more, and when you're playing like a big team, like playing Portugal and Germany in group games is.
Well, there's two ways to look at it. It's either like iron sharpens iron, or you think teams are getting tired in the group stages and then they don't have the energy for the knockouts. So it can go either way, and I don't think there's any set pattern really for it. Like there's teams that have had hard group stages that have gone to do well. There's teams that have had easy group stages that have gone to do well. I think it just depends on the mentality of the team.
Another thing I saw today, and it filled my heart with joy, was seeing Granit Xhaka play proper football, how he should be used as the kind of player who is in the midfield, but around like the midfield point, who's just distributing the ball, and like offensively, it's like something you don't like see a lot because it's not assists and goals, but he distributed the ball very often like forward to like the station who would cross the ball in or play the last pass to a striker. And that's for me because he played at Gladbach for like 4 years, and he played that role in Gladbach perfectly. And I hear so much abuse for him from Arsenal fans because they're.
He's only doing what he's been told to do. To be fair, I mean, like that's.
It's just I love the guy because he played for my club and he was one of the faces of my club when we started to getting into the Champions League. And I just love to see him do well on the pitch, especially because he's having a little bit of a rough time at Arsenal at the moment.
Well, he's on his way to Roma this summer, so like.
Yeah, I mean, will it be better when he has Mourinho as a manager? I kind of doubt it.
Yeah, that's hard to say. Anyway, we're gonna have to just quickly move on. Talk about Spain because Spain played Croatia earlier in the day. Defensively, possibly not the best of games from Spain, but they came through it.
Oh, Croatia were all over the place, especially in extra time. I know they wanted the goal and all that, but there were so many chances for Spain where they could have just gone another like 6 or 7 goals up to them. But yeah,
poor Pedri again. Poor Pedri being given that own goal. Jesus.
Oh, that's the keeper. That's on the keeper. He's taken his eye off the ball.
I think
I know you say you shouldn't pass the ball back. Sorry, Mike. You shouldn't pass the ball back to the goal. It should be off to the side, so just in case something goes wrong. But even so, I know he's put a bit of zip on it, but the keeper's just took his eye off it. And he knows that. He knows that.
Even looked like the keeper got like a touch on it.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the point where it becomes a goalkeeper's mistake when he has a touch on it. I was a goalkeeper, never happened to me, so I'm confirmed better than Unai Simon. Where's he playing? What club is he playing?
I must have missed your international appearances, mate.
Right. Is he
I mean, I'm German. I have it really tough to be goalkeeper and get.
Oliver Kahn understudy. He was.
No, where's Unai Simon actually playing?
Is he the Brighton keeper or is he
Bilbao?
Bilbao.
No,
I'm disqualified to play. I just want to say, Bilbao, give me a ring. I could play for you, but I'm not Basque, so I'm disqualified.
No, you're not allowed to. Can't play for Bilbao.
Yeah, unfortunate. Killed the joke.
I still think Switzerland will like relax tomorrow and then look at that and be like. Yeah,
it's a winnable game.
We can get at this Spain team. Yeah, we can get at this.
There's definitely goals going in against that Spain team. Defensively, especially in the middle, they just look really unprepared for absolutely everything that came their way. It's like Aymeric Laporte was just there, and he's like, "How's football work again?" Like the ball's coming towards him, he's like, "I think I'm supposed to go after the oh shit, I'm in trouble."
And to be honest, I thought this would be a relatively easy route to the semifinals with France because I thought Croatia is 3 years past the prime. Yeah. I think 2018, everything. I think Croatia just everything came together in 2018 to have that final round because I think all the players were the right age, were like still at the age where they can perform on the top level day in, day out. And now they're all 3 years older and Gvardiol basically, who had a nightmare of a game today. And yeah, Spain hasn't been like proper Spain since 2012.
Oh man, I remember. I'm looking at that Spain team. You used to look at that Spain team, and be like, oh yeah, David Silva and Iniesta. No, I'm talking about in the middle. You used to look like, oh, there's creativity. You look at that Spain team, and you just don't feel inspired in any way. You don't feel like some sort of like. There's no sense of confidence where you're like. Yeah, if Morata had like a prime David Silva behind him, I think he'd get a lot less
not even prime David Silva. Give him Iniesta and Xavi behind him.
Oh yeah, he'd get a lot more. He needs 5 chances to score 1 goal. He's only getting 2.
This is a very good point, by the way. Of McGann saying that Rakitic and Mandzukic were both big. Mandzukic especially is so hard to replace as centre forward for Croatia, and they've really struggled without him. And Pasalic,
a big man
again, I agree with that as well.
But yeah, Spain look uninspiring.
Yeah, Spain threw away an easy win here. They were 3-1 up. They should have been able to see that out with relative ease. And it's just Modric got in amongst their back four and just made an absolute mess of their defence.
Much like France today.
Yeah, a bit of a dropping too deep.
Yeah.
So LeBar is saying the Swiss are inconsistent, but they are also playing tremendously well at the moment. So
I would say Switzerland. Spain is a 50-50 game.
The thing,
and that's good for Switzerland, actually.
The thing with Switzerland is they've given the favourites. Well, they've knocked out the favourites now, and anything they get from this point onwards is a bonus. Mm-hmm. So really, they've got nothing to lose at this point. Like getting to the quarterfinals of the European Championship for Switzerland is an amazing achievement. So really, they can play without fear because regardless, they've basically exceeded all expectations.
Yeah, I mean they're not scared of getting knocked out, are they?
But by the rules of Mortal Kombat, if you eliminate the favorites, don't you yourself become the favorites?
I can see that game being quite. I will almost bank on very. I'm probably going to be wrong, but I can see both teams getting very, very tired and it being quite lethargic and it being maybe a 0-0. I can see.
I don't think it will be. I think Switzerland they've got no need to be cagey. They could go out and
but the question is what the gas tank.
Yeah, fatigue. That's what I was. Either they're going to get so tired, there's going to be loads of goals. Or it's going to be like pinged around the middle because Spain are going to control the ball, aren't they?
Both these teams have been through extra time today, though, so they're both going to be tired. I don't think tiredness is going to be an issue for them.
I mean, if both teams are tired, you tend to get a boring 0-0.
Yeah, but Switzerland will go
after today, I'm sure they'd be happy with that because it's been 2 absolutely mad games. Can you remember a day of major tournament football that has had 2 games this insane in the same day?
We had 14 goals today, excluding the penalty goals and penalty shootout.
And we had Mbappe midway. Slag Mbappe.
It's been a crazy day of football.
And tomorrow gets even crazier with our top game, Sweden against Ukraine.
Man, tomorrow is going to be the hangover of football. I can you can sense it coming from a mile away. Maybe we're wrong.
I'm predicting England-Germany's 0-0. That's going to penalties. And I think Sweden ekes out a 1-0 win over Ukraine.
I just wanted to say 2 1-0s.
There'll be like a goal in the 8th minute from and then you'll be like, oh, here we go. A few more. We're back in the north. And then no.
One game to be decided in the 8th minute, the other in the 33rd minute. Both games having 2 hours of nothing happening. Really,
I think it's going to
be. That's nothing happening for almost the entire game. That has been England's offense throughout almost the entire tournament. Didn't they have the second half?
Is starting.
Not slagging off.
Started. He hasn't stopped, mate. He's been
the second half of the Czech game, fair play, they won, but wasn't it they had 0.00 expected goals in the second half?
Yeah, but we also had 1 goal in the goal column, which was all we
needed. I mean, that's what's counting.
Yeah. I will counter that by saying defenses have done very well at this tournament. When teams that have defended really well have done well and progressed. England, I don't have any kind of faith in that England back line, but they seem to be doing pretty well. They haven't conceded the goal. No. So it's not.
Also haven't played a good offensive team. They have played the Czech Republic, Croatia.
You say that, but the Czechs have gone through. Croatia just scored 3 goals against Spain. So
they had 60 minutes of battering from Scotland effectively as well, which Scotland's offence on the Friday before last was very dangerous in points, and it could have been a 2-0 loss to England at that point. And I think they did seem to they smothered any attempts that went forward. So I don't know. I think Croatia, going back to Croatia, I think they were very weak in the group. I think they were weaker than Scotland were, for sure. I just think Scotland played very well. They just conceded to very, very good teams. That's all it was.
I mean, this is a fine point, saying that Gareth used half his team selection on defenders. That's true, but I think he felt that he needed to take that many defensive players so that he had backup options for various occasions, and like he has played
Kyle Walker to replace anyway.
He has played very defensively in these games. That's just the way it is. He does have attacking options. He's just used them very sparingly. So you're going to knock out football, it's anyone's game. Everyone knows that. I mean, like Switzerland just knocked France out. Anything is possible. I have said all along, I think that England are going to get knocked out in the round of 16. It's probably going to be on penalties, but who knows?
Aaron, what would your starting 11 be? I know we're tied for time, but what would your starting 11 be tomorrow for England?
Personally, I'd probably play a back 3, but I don't think he is. I think he's probably going to play a 4. Maguire's actually faster than people realise, so I think he'll play the 4.
Yeah, there was a video of Maguire outpacing Reece.
Outpacing Reece.
Yeah. Jordan Henderson's also quite faster than people think. I've seen videos of him in Liverpool training of him being a lot faster than people.
The one thing the Premier League does have is exceptionally high fitness levels because they're designed to go.
Yeah, just wanted to say they also play 60 games every season because they have 15 cups.
That is also true. But there's been various injuries and stuff, and people have missed games. So who knows? I think the big question mark is going to be who they play sort of in the attacking positions sort of behind Kane. So Kane's a given. I think he's definitely going to play the 2 holders, and it's just what the 3 is behind that.
Probably
whether it's
Sterling's a given.
So guys,
Sterling's probably going to play. Mount is probably going to play if he's available, and
Maybe
then Foden, I would have said, is probably going to play.
Here's my proposal. How poetic would it be? 0-0, 85th minute, winner Musiala.
England's brave Jamal Musiala.
That would be terrible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're all tired at the end of the season. It's yeah.
I mean, in fairness, everybody's tired because everybody's been playing constantly since September 2019.
Yeah,
everybody is tired.
Here's another thing. I'm German. We don't have an EFL Cup. What is the point in the EFL Cup? It's for me, it just sounds like another FA Cup, but with smaller clubs.
I agree with this, but this is a whole other thing, and we're overrunning it at the moment. So I'm not going to answer it. Instead, I'm going to put the video to go home. So thank you all for joining me this evening. You've all done a fine job of replacing Eddie. I'm going to tell Eddie he's worth 4 people because it's
4 people.
It's taken 4 people to replace him, but this is for you, Eddie. And we will see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
This stream is sponsored.